He's allowing me time to make some videos. Been sitting happily. Okay, don't ruin it for me now. Stay here. So, I was listening. There's a guy named Brian Holsworth, I think. Is it Brian Holsworth? Anyway, he's a red-headed, long-haired Christian or Catholic Christian. I definitely make the distinction because Jesus started only one faith. Well, technically, no, yes. Anyway, my point is, he made a point about, I don't remember what the video was specifically titled, but he was saying how newspapers are sensationalistic, was one thing I took out of it, and that they're going to take the bad stuff. So you're going to hear about the problems, let's say, and I think he was relating it to the church, the problems that the church does or the errors that the church does. And he was also talking about things like when people bring up the things that the church has done wrong over 2,000 years. And one of the first things they bring up, they talk about Galileo, which is a very nuanced story. It's not like the church just persecuted him. Anyway, there's some context there. So anybody who thinks Galileo is a black and white, open and shut case should really delve into it and not go look at it through, let's say, a Christian perspective, which is going to try to make a bad light on the Catholic Church. Look at it through the Catholic teaching, the lens of the Pope and the magisterium. But anyway, he was making a point, and I thought it was well founded, that we tend to look at the bad stuff, and the fact that you have these two or three things, or these few things over 2,000 years that people complain about the church about, this handful, basically, in the history of the church. But they don't talk about all the saints. They don't talk about all the good that the church has done, because it's not sensationalistic. It's not going to make the newspaper, for instance, the good work that, say, Mother Cabrini did. And we know about this, but particularly this has come more to the forefront because of the movie, which I did see and thought was a pretty good movie. But, the newspaper's not going to tell you about that. The people who complain about the church are going to find those complaints. But what this Brian, I believe is Holsworth, I've got to get his name straight. Well, I think what he was trying to say, what he said was that the fact that there's these few things, but they overlook the fact that, I don't know, 1,000 to 1, you could match 10,000, 100,000 to 1, are the good things the church did to these few things that humans did that were not particularly following the teaching of the church. So, what was the phrase he used? The fact that there's so many good things is what makes the few bad things stand out. The fact that there's so many good things that the church has done is what makes those bad things, those few things where mistakes were made by men, not the teaching of the church, but by men making poor decisions, generally speaking, is what makes those errors glaring, is all the good that the church has done and does and continues to do. You can get some good examples of the good that the church did for the Italian poor in New York City around the turn of the century, century before last, in the Mother Cabrini movie. So, yeah, I thought that was an interesting video, and it's nice to hear that. Of course, you know it, but it's nice to hear that perspective again. So let's ask all the saints to pray for us, particularly Mother Cabrini, to speak to the hearts of women. Mother Cabrini fought for the children and fought for the poor. Ladies of America, voters, she was a wonderful role model, is a wonderful role model. What do you think she would say about abortion? What do you think she would say about abortion? Discern that question. And I think you'll know the answer, if you really do real discernment. Okay, so again, pray for the souls in purgatory.